So today is Saturday, April 24th. That's the neighbor's dog barking right there. It goes on for hours. People just let it, even though it doesn't take much for them to be quiet. Hey! See? He doesn't have any behavioral issues. But, alright, I got a few design things to point out. Why I can't rely on. There's no reliability. I noticed the other day when I recorded myself on the 21st, I had like a little zit or a pimple right here. Kind of happens sometimes when you shave. Plus I've been eating more sugar and fats lately than normal. But yeah, I just had the lovely little experience right now. I walked out there, I took this thing full of water. It was sitting there, so you can tell when it rained, there's that little ring right there, that's where it was sitting. And I took it to go water the ficus tree, right? Took it to go water the ficus tree. And two ladies sitting outside too. So it's not like nobody heard it. Oh, they looked me straight in the fucking eyes, straight in the face. I walk out there and I water the tree. Right? I bring the thing over, pour some water right there. Still moist. I'm making this shit up. That's the dog barking. It doesn't take much for it to be quiet. See, it's pretty much done. Anybody could have done that. Anybody. If they cared, if they wanted to. Alright, so I come over here and I'm just looking at the trees, seeing how they're doing after pruning. I need to get up there, but on a taller ladder. If you saw the little improvised thing, I don't have a taller ladder because they stole mine. I also need to hang up my clothes to dry on a clothesline. I know they can afford to, I gotta get rid of those, pointing inward. The ones overlapping. I know they can afford it. Just like they could afford a new ladder, but they would rather pay double, triple the cost of the ladder to for somebody to steal my ladder, so that I have to ask for some sort of help. So they would rather lose than see this right here. I'm gonna remove this one, and I'm gonna remove this one. And I'm going to remove this one. So that's less growth later down the line that's going to be conflicting with itself, with the whole tree's growth and health. I think I'm also going to remove this one. And I'll leave this one for now. And I'll remove this and this. I'm not sure about these yet, exactly, necessarily. Anybody could get that dog to be quiet, but they don't want to. So I walk over to the other acacia, which I'm going to go walk over to right now. And the kid, probably from the window. Oh, the blue car, that's the people who kicked me in the head. So I walk over here and I'm checking out the tree, seeing how the growth is coming along, right? And it's getting there, you know, it's recovering. It really didn't need that the beating it took from the kids, but you know, that was sanctioned, so you know, it's okay. It's not like it was any of their grandma's trees, you know, necessarily. Look at that damage right there. That's from them. They took that limb, and they took that limb, and they took that limb. So it sets me back, and it sets the tree back, recovering, growing. So I was just standing here, and the fucking kid just starts yelling out at me from over there, from the pink house right there, and calling me crazy a few times, right? And so I look over, and I give the granny a stare there. Oh, look at the smiles there. Look at the smiles there. I bet he'd like it if I kicked him in the head how he kicked me, huh? And the granny just stares me down. Yeah, I just spit at the ground. I would do it to their faces, but I don't think that's the most intelligent, strategic course of action. It looks like there's still some leftover stuff to remove here to avoid the tree getting some of that type of damage further down the line that it can't heal very well. I'll try to keep this shorter. Right. So they did that the day that I was done pruning and setting the cage up around the tree. All that soil I brought in, I have pictures of it. I don't know if I took any video, but that was me, that wasn't them. They're old enough to know better. Some of them are grandparents. So, you know, this is probably the only design that actually got implemented mostly the way it was supposed to. So it doesn't seem to matter how great, you know, how well thought out, how well planned, designed, any of the designs of the things I've been meaning to fix are that and the meshing at the bottom of the gate there seem to have been done well, but stuff like this, it gets set back further and further, and they told me, wait, check out the mailbox. What the fuck is that? The fuck is that? The hell? The fuck? I had it. This is the old mailbox. It used to be hung up on here before in that place, right? So what the fuck is that? I had to hang this up right here because they did such a shit job on this. Oh, they got paid for it. They got paid for it. They got paid for it. Check out the damage the neighbors got. The motherfucker drives by. Here's the mailbox they put in. A lot of good that does because it doesn't work, right? What the fuck is that? The fuck is that? That is not the design specifications I said it, I wrote it down, I said it again, I don't know how many fucking times, right? But I can't rely on anybody, right? At one point this year I had enough. I could have bought my own fucking dryer. Maybe save some and then put it on credit and then make the payments, right? But I have to do all these fucking workarounds for what? Because they're more willing to throw their money away to have them steal things from me. Hell, but you know what? They don't have to, because there's always somebody to volunteer. They have people. They're willing amongst themselves. They're willing to volunteer. You don't need to pay them to screw with me. No. Like, gladly. They'll line up. My turn? So, yeah. So I'm having to hang onto the tree here because they also say they stole my clothesline, right? Anyway, so I'll be able to clear some of this today. I moved the wood over and cleared some of that. I'll be using this. I'll be using that as a wicking bed. That dog is not going to shut up because they don't want it to. So If you'll notice, these aren't even the same size. You know, these are barely, these seem to be the same size. These are not the same size, right there. Neither are these, right here. And neither are these. I was using that to cover that because it was raining and they brought this concrete over. I think they thought they were going to sabotage any... Well, fortunately, I am able to compensate for their bullshit sometimes, you know? Not all the time, but sometimes. Hey! 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 Anyway, check that out right there. Ladder. Same ladder as before, right there. Right there. Nobody lays a finger on it. That isn't invited to, welcome to. And the nerve, man, the nerve. So I'll be keeping this wood right here. All that's decent wood right there. Even the neem and some of the guava, but mostly the acacia. All my mesquite wood is gone. They took it. I had piles similar to that, and they took it. They, I don't know, probably threw it out or something. That's not acacia or willow. I think that is that's ficus. No, yeah, that's ficus. So it's really soft wood. It doesn't store well. That's also mostly ficus there, save for like 2 or 3 branches in there. It doesn't save well. It's not very dense. It rots very easily. So all of that right there, some of that, and some of that gravel right there, maybe even some sand, which is in these two right here, is going to get put into, which I haven't completely designed yet, but the idea in my head is that this is going to be a wicking garden bed. Okay, now why is this important for me to record right now? Because check out that mailbox, okay? Check out, as close as that got, it's still chipping away at the concrete there, which is, you know, definitely not helpful. It's like the many things, you know. Check out the rain gutters there. It drips constantly when it rains. In other words, these rain gutters aren't for shit. They don't help for shit. This was also my idea. The gauge on the screen is not, as I said, it should be. It was supposed to be like this type of mesh. You know, pretty transparent, easy to see through. Flies can't get through. A mosquito could easily just fly its ass through there. Housefly even. You know, what the fuck good is this gonna be in the fucking summer? It's not. It's not at all. So the point was to have a cage. It was supposed to also jut out. It was supposed to have its own frame outside. The frame was supposed to be secured to the concrete, and the cage, the doors themselves were supposed to open up so that you could access, in case you needed to clean the sliding glass door, the window, the part that doesn't slide, this half, not this half, right? And what did they do? Well, the geniuses that 2 heads are better than 1 came up with, you can't reach that. That's physically impossible now, unless you remove the, well, it looks like you might not even have to try what is this? You paid for what? The fuck is this? Right. So they would rather throw money away on stupid shit, on fucking shit up. Oh, here's another one. Besides the plumbing on the inside, which, you know, this plumbing needs to be redone too. The other thing, I said no PVC on the outside sun exposed areas. No PVC. This is PVC right here. I took a paintbrush to it, so I painted it. It's white. That's not the PVC, the raw PVC. I don't know if you could tell. It's a little. Here, look. You see that? Right there, that little line right there. That's the raw color, and then that's the paint. That's the paint that I did over it to retard, to slow down the UV damage that it's going to take. Right now, it's not even summer. It's, like I said, it's April 24th, 2021. The sun at this time right now, 2:47 p.m., hits this side of the house, right? So one of the things was I wanted some bars on these windows. That room is getting knocked down now because it's been so, I don't know if you could tell. Check that out. Okay, now look up. I don't know if you could tell there. That thing is falling apart because, well, humidity for one. It hasn't been maintained. It hasn't been taken care of all this time. So the bars got done. I mean, it's pretty hard to fuck up bars on windows. They got like this stylistic thing. I don't know what the fuck that's about right there. What did they use, like scraps or something left over from something? It looks like they did. I don't know, but pretty hard to fuck up that. This, the idea was to make it so that this thing, check that out, so that it wouldn't get stolen, so that it couldn't be stolen, so that you could leave the patio door open and this would not likely be stolen, because these, you know, they sell pretty easy. I mean, you could fit that in the fucking backpack. Look at it. You could. That thing fits in a fucking backpack. You could steal that and off and sell it in the fucking Toberas or some shit, right? Serial numbers or whatever. Like, there's no insurance on this. What the fucking cops? What are the fucking cops gonna do? Fucking seriously? So I mean, dimensions wise, right on. Pretty cool. They got it right. Okay. You know, after all this, I'm still wondering why I'm not allowed to. Even when I directly speak with the workers in charge of this, somehow, somewhere along the way, something has to happen that somebody else thinks they're more apt, better capable just more capable, better suited to tell them what to do and how to do it, right? Or they just, you know, are given payment for work not done well. Which, you know, I'm kind of, at this point, I let some of these things happen just to see, like, okay, well, I'm not having to pay for it directly. I can pay for it directly, right? Many of these instances, the quantity isn't so much that right? So I could, but when I'm speaking to someone directly, there's something that transcends the level of direct negotiation and contracting. There is, well, what sort of business deal was it when 2 or 3 times motherfuckers come over and steal my ladders and tools? I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with I didn't pay the right worker or I didn't get enough quotes, presupuestos, you know? Anyway, so this thing, in case you didn't notice and I didn't explain it, slides the fuck right out of there. You just take a fucking crowbar, chip the cement right there, and that thing has slid off. I mean, if you had a crowbar, you could probably take this whole thing off, given how wobbly it is right there. But you wouldn't need to, because you could just slide the thing out. You know, what the fuck is this gonna do? This does nothing. This just makes it difficult to access the face, which you need to be able to access the dial and to see the screen and the indicator. That indicator right there turns on when the thing is on, and that tells you the temperature of the water. I had planned to set up a little mirror here so that you could see it from the shower window, right? Doesn't matter. You can't see it. To be able to access it, turn it on or off, there's that little button right there. It takes batteries. As much as I despise, I don't like designs like this. It depends on fucking batteries. It depends on, you know, these gas propane tanks and stuff like that. It's not very reliable. It's a module that's it has lots of points where it could fail or needs constant maintenance, and they didn't make it easier with this cage. Like this whole thing, like what? So those are just a few things, right? The sliding glass door also, the cage thing, it doesn't. It made it so that basically this part right here, that part right there. No, I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm too busy looking that I'm not looking through the screen. I could hold it further away. So this right here bumps up against the lock thing on the inside right there. So that basically you had to tear it just so that you could grip around it and be able to open and close it. So now it's starting to cut into the function of the sliding glass door there, right? This is lovely designs of stuff. Okay, I'm getting told. Great advertising, because I'm pausing this shit. Back again. All right, it's 20-some minutes, right? Anyway, so so I'm having to compensate for other people's bullshit, and they don't even. I mean, they couldn't. They don't have the patience. They don't have the temperament. They don't have the thoroughness or the will even to. I mean, unless it's for selfish fucking self-serving profit, they don't have to fucking share shit. In which case, they'll cover their asses. Sometimes they don't even go as far as to getting that right. They might have succeeded right here. Smiley Boy, who literally just drove by, hasn't spent a fucking day in jail for that shit. Smiley Boy driving by like that. They could have kicked me just a few inches with the same force they were using right in the fucking temple. I'd be dead right the fuck there. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. So right. So that's getting turned into a garden bed. But for right now, I need to take the measurements and figure out how I'm going to design the thing, which, it doesn't matter because there's so many steps along the way. I don't have the tools. Like, if I buy the tools, they're just going to get fucking stolen or something broken. And fucking neighbor boy over there is going to fucking grandpa figure a way to fucking chip the blades or something, right? Short my house, burn my house down. Oh, do you remember that video? I actually got that on video when they were on the outside before that thing had a cage, and they kept flicking the switch on and off, like cutting the light to the house, right the fuck there, while the whole neighborhood just let it happen. Grown-ass fucking men and women. Apparently not very grown in the mind. You know how they say, like, yeah, we shouldn't let minors vote, do drugs and this... because part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex isn't developed. Motherfucker. You go into your old fucking ages without developing the appropriate fucking human capacities that you need to have in order to claim the entitlements that society offers you. And yet you abuse them on the regular. Alright, so I'm going to risk falling on my ass, breaking my fucking ass, by doing something that is very not recommended. Why? Because, well, tomorrow is Sunday, and supposedly my family is going to visit, okay? So, supposedly I'm supposed to be able to rely on them to be able to use a ladder that they will bring and offer me in support, supposedly, to help me do this sort of thing, right? I know better. As crazy as it sounds, I can't rely on them. I can't rely on them because to them it's some sort of sick, sadistic fucking game where the more I try to count on them and believe them, the more they get to pretend that I'm dependent on them, that I need their help, that I need their bullshit, right? So that bushy part right there is what I'm going for. Everything else I've already taken care of just at regular height with the ladder, okay? It's pretty much set for the season, for the core parts. I'll have to keep doing maintenance, like I still have to do maintenance over here, to make sure there's no overlapping that's going to be a problem for the tree. And that, I've got this bushing out, but that's fine. When they come, one of the examples is that chainsaw. I was going to use it same day to fix a few odds and ends, right? And finish the stuff in the park, and then cut up that wood right there. But what should have taken one day, this is going to be the 4th week. It's been 4 weeks. It's been 4 fucking weeks. Should have taken one day. Could have finished that all up one fucking day, right? I would have had maybe this stuff would still be here. At most. Has taken 4 weeks, and I'm hoping it won't take a 5th week, but that's why I can't wait for, something safe or smarter. Because they tell me the planter, I asked the guy for, to bring a saw blade so that he could score and then break up the concrete chunks where the planters are going to be expanded, and then when the one outside is going to be completed or started and completed with some steps and stuff. And he says he could start in 3 fucking weeks. Now, I don't think it's a complete... Let's just say I really hope it's a coincidence, because in 3 weeks' time is the date in May that I... Do I need to wait for the advertising card to drive by? Right. It's the date in mid-May where I have to commemorate these little scars on my fucking chest from the lovely police force. I don't get a single march in that town. I don't get a single fucking march in that town. Nope. Well, you see, it's a little complicated. It's not exactly like we want it to look for us. Because that's what justice is about, huh? That's what justice is about. That's how it looks for you. How other people live or die. Ooh. Okay. So I hope it's not a coincidence. I mean, I hope it's a coincidence, but it doesn't seem like it's a coincidence, and so it's really, really not encouraging. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish that up. I think I've got 3 other videos from the 21st, detailing kind of how I'm reasoning with these to distribute the growth. I went ahead and I removed that. This is some pretty strong growth. This is just this year right now. This is this year. This is last year, I'm pretty sure. So you can tell this year's growth is already outpacing last year's growth. Last year I wasn't here to do the maintenance stuff. I've been gone for over a year, so you can tell without me, I'm able to help the tree outdo its own accomplished growth. But they'd rather call me simple-minded and all this other shit. Dude, really? That's what you got? Why don't you call out shit when I fuck up? Not because sometimes I do. I shouldn't have worn those fucking slippers out the fucking door that day that I fucking fell and got kicked. I might have not gotten kicked in the fucking head that many fucking times by Smiley Boy. They wouldn't have probably not felt as fucking comfortable and confident and self-assured that they think they knocked me down. So that's... Why don't you shove that elbow in my side? So I don't know. I'm gonna try to pause. If I can get up there without wobbling too much, you might be able to see how I remove the stuff from that. All right. So the timetable of 3 weeks. That means that tree, and the ficus, that tree right the fuck there, are gonna need pots. I only have one pot that size, and that's that one right the fuck there, this pot. So I asked for 2 more. odds are there's going to be excuses and delays and other bullshit, right? Gonna try to use this material just in case I can't get up there. I'm gonna stop the video. I won't continue it from where I stop it right now. But yeah, the point is I'm gonna make a base. You know, at least 2 of those. Those are about 3 feet in length. I think no, those are 4. If those are 4 feet in length, give or take, right? And they're 4x4s. Oh, the issue with that. Oh, that's another one. I specifically asked. Okay, see, in the rest of the country and most of the world, you can't get a discount. Oh, you can't get a discount for redwood, sequoia redwood, like you can in California. The reason you can get it for a discount in California is because it literally only grows in California. You know, in the wild like that, where the federal and state governments have an agreement with the wildlife preserves that the national park, basically they could use it for timber. They use it for lumber. So I asked for redwood because it's going to be for food. I'm going to grow my food in it, which is taking forever. I'm having to. This is what I'm eating right now. This is a weed, sow thistle. I don't fucking know if it's named after sowing or a fucking female pig. Nettle. And so like that's why you don't see the lower leaves on them. I'm eating the lower leaves. When they get this big right here, I cut them, and I try to keep them from bolting. So I remove the flowers. So I'm eating these right now. I don't need to, but I'd like to be able to provide my food, right? So that was for like lettuce, spinach, type of things that would need regular, constantly moist soil. And in case, I was going to be gone, which I intended to be gone, within 3 weeks, but what a funny coincidence. Your plans don't get to work out. And they bring me. I had the dimensions and everything. I knew what design I wanted and everything. I was like, just bring me the tools, dude. You don't even have to do it. Just bring me the materials and the tools, right? If you supposedly want to help. And they bring me this. Which, I don't know if there's a tag on that one there. I don't see a tag. I don't know. You can probably tell. Let me get up on this. It's cedar, I think.